I realized how important it was for all of us to just get a taste of this and share this with you and get to know her a little bit more, how she does it all, how she keeps this energy, where it comes from, and just get a little bit more of a background where it is, because I know that she's getting her master's in dance. I know that she is a dedicated Beachbody supporter and really into movement and transformation. And this is one of the reasons why she had to be on here, because transformation is what this Spiritpreneurship Summit is all about. And I think she has a lot to add to this. So, Lara, just start wherever you want to start.
Yay! Thank you so much for that introduction. It was beautiful. I truly appreciate it, and I do believe like we were brought to each other for some which reason and energy, and I'm so grateful for it. So again, my name is Lara, and I am a professional dancer. I dance with a modern professional dance company based out of New York and New Jersey. And then with that, I also teach dance, I teach fitness, and I am a Beachbody coach. So I am a health and fitness coach, and I help support other people on their journey. Now, we were just talking about transformation, and so a lot of transformations that we see through the fitness community, you might see as a physical transformation. But I like to hone in and like everything starts from the inside out. And so really transforming your mind, like your emotions, your mental. So I know today I'm going to talk a little bit about growth mindset, and just getting everything up here, right, in order to let everything else unfold. So I started as a dancer. I started dancing when I was about 5 or 6 years old, but I actually, prior to that, so I was always like an active child. I was the child like going upside down, doing handstands, climbing up the walls, whatever it was. But aside from that, I was actually kind of shy, believe it or not. So I started with gymnastics, and it was just fun, I guess, being petite. Like, for me, like, I loved going on the bars and doing the balance beam. And then there came a point where I took my first dance class, and it was jazz slash acro. So it was called gym jazz, so gymnastics and jazz dance. So that was my first introduction to dance, but it still had a gymnastics element. And then I was asked from there to be put, like, to audition for this competition team that the dance studio had. And that also involved a lot more dance classes. I had to take ballet technique, I had to take jazz, and gradually I added on tap and all these other classes throughout my many years of dance. And it came to a point, okay, gymnastics or dance. And as much as I love gymnastics and the challenge of it, and it's something that I kept up with here and there, but I was like, dancing is something that you can do for a lifetime, right? And yes, there's definitely the physical component of dance, but dance is so innate in each and every one of us. It's something that we, like, the first thing we start doing as babies is we're moving, we're breathing, and so it's just that, like, inner connection to our inner self to really, like, for me, movement is medicine. It's a healing process, and for someone who is a little bit shy and didn't want to use their words as much, and I think you'll find this with a lot of dancers too, is that dance is our form of expression. So it's the way we express ourselves, the way we tell our stories, and so that's something that I really connected with early on. So I went on to study dance in college, and then I went to pursue my, I pursued some other dance companies along the way. I was actually in my first professional dance company as a sophomore in college. One of my professors created her own company and asked me to be a part of it. So that was like not a slap in the face. That's not the word I need. It was a wake up call to, oh, the professional life. Here I was a full time student, and then also, whoa, there's like, we were in rehearsals all day on Sundays, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were having this, and I was like, wait, when do I get to be a student? When do I get to do my homework? I don't know. And so it was a lot. So I danced with the company And we had a bunch of performances, rehearsals. We did something called improvisation jams, which was actually multi-artists. So sometimes we would have art, like physical, visual arts. We would always have live music, which was just like, my heart and soul is there. There's something about live music that just brings the energy. So I had my first experience there while in college, and then I focused a little bit more on my studies and my own choreography. Graduated college, also got my K through 12 in dance education. So I am, as I said, a dance educator as well. And through dance and through fitness, I have taught ages 2 to about 82. So I have a wide range of experience. I actually volunteered a couple of times throughout college at a senior citizen home, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So my passion lies with that, as well as teaching dance to higher education. Right now, I am currently getting my master's and just got a teaching position at a university teaching modern dance. So I am just so overjoyed with and blessed by these opportunities that have been presented to me along the way. And the current company that I am dancing with now was my dream company since I was 16. And I had auditioned once while I was still in college. It was like right before my senior year. So I still had to do like my student teaching and everything for my K through 12. And I made it past a few cuts, and then I was like, and then I got cut. And I was like, you know what, it's like not meant to be right now. I'm living in a different state. Here this company is rehearsing up north, New York City, and I'm down in Maryland. I don't know how I would have made that work, but I knew that I had a lot of growth to do myself. So when I got cut, I went up to the director because she was like, you know, I offer my feedback to everyone. And as dancers, we receive a lot of constructive criticism, and so it builds up a tough skin, but also one that is open, hopefully for most dancers, open to receiving feedback and learning how to grow from there. So dance not only taught me like the physical technique, but it taught me discipline, it taught me commitment, it taught me sacrifice. It taught me so many things that on the surface people think that dance is just like, oh, you just like prance around all day. And that's literally what, you know, friends of my parents would think like, oh, your daughter is studying dance in college. Is that really a real thing? Like, what is she going to do with her life? And here I am making a life for myself with everything that I love and everything movement-based. So going back to my first time I auditioned and I got cut and I asked for feedback. And the director had suggested I study a specific modern technique, and that following, I think it was actually that year, that summer, I just went all in studying that technique. I was like, let me just take an intensive. Let me get 4 weeks in of this intense technique. It was super challenging for me, but it helped me grow. And then I continued to learn and delve into everything, and then I got hired the following year or year and a half later. And throughout my college years, I actually guest artist for this company. Little guest appearance. It's called like an audience dancer in one of the pieces. So that was like the start of my connection with the company. And so auditioning again, I got hired as an apprentice, and then that later turned into a full company member. So that's where I am today, 6 years later, you know, pursuing my dream dance company. And here I am also pursuing a master's because I know that eventually, you know, our performing years are sometimes limited, yet the realm of dance is not. There's so many different outlets. So, you know, you can be a choreographer, you can be a teacher in a high school, you can be a teacher at a studio, you know, you can be writing and critiquing about dance. There's so many different outlets that people don't even realize. You know, you can go into physical therapy, nutrition, all these outlets, and like, I am so passionate about what I do, as you can see. And so, pursuing my master's is just preparing myself for that next step, right? So my dream was to be in this company, and I achieved that dream, okay? And it's still hard work every single day in this company. And what I love about my dance company is that my director constantly is looking for improvements. Just because you've been in the company for 6 years now, it doesn't mean you've hit the top. It means you continue to grow. So there's always room for improvement, and that's where that growth mindset comes in. And where I delved into this even deeper was really doing personal development. Um, so I am a Beachbody coach, and Beachbody works with a lot of at-home fitness programs as well as nutrition. So my sister actually was a coach first, someone who was not into health or fitness at all, never worked out a day in her life. She actually had like terrible back pain. She never cooked for herself, and all of a sudden, um, you know, this opportunity came into her life probably at the most important time of her life. She was in a dark place and found this routine for herself. And I saw her transformation. And she came from this dark place, and then she was focusing on herself, she was focusing on her health, and she was getting healthier for her two daughters. And she was getting healthier mentally for herself as well. And she inspired me. And then I started like doing some of the workouts with her and sometimes stealing her DVDs. And then she was like, "Why don't you do this with me? You know, you're certified in fitness." So I teach a lot of group fitness work classes to adults primarily. And I was like, no, like I have so much on my plate, like how am I ever going to do this? And then she kind of just convinced me one day, and I was like, all right, let's just give it a shot. And lo and behold, 5 years later now, I have been coaching and supporting people on their health and fitness journey. And again, when I say health, it's in every aspect. So a lot of people that I work with come in with a lot of, self-confidence issues. And what we do is a lot of personal development, which means in any aspect of your life, in any area of your life. So if you're struggling with finances, okay, let's read a book on finances. I'm listening to an Audible book right now called Millionaire Mindset. So there's financial, spiritual, which I know that you guys are delving into this week. Nutrition. I struggled a lot with IBS during my last few years of college, and so I saw a holistic nutritionist, got my health in check, and then things that I do with nutrition through coaching also have helped support my gut in the process. So I'm like, I can't say that it was a cure, like I'm cured of it, but I have found ways to make my symptoms really not there anymore. And as a performer, IBS is not something you want to deal with. I am telling you, and I'm sorry if this grosses anyone out. I am an open book, but digestive health is like your gut health is something a lot of people struggle with, and they're scared to talk about. And so when I started opening up about that, I got I heard back from so many people, oh my gosh, like I'm struggling with this too. Like, okay, I don't know if this is going to help you, but this helped me, and maybe you can try it out. And so, I know that's a lot. I'm going to wrap up and just say one last thing about personal development. So it's something that we stress in our coaching world, and it was something that I avoided for so long because I thought it's kind of like just self-help books, who really needs that? And the fact is everyone needs personal development. If we're not growing, we're just staying stagnant. And so this opportunity with coaching just opened so many outlets for me. And honestly, I wouldn't even be pursuing my master's right now had it not been for coaching, and had it not been for that constant strive for growth and for bettering myself and for bettering the life of my family and my future family. So I've just learned to be so much more intentional about my days and productive in how I set forth my days and plan my days. But all that being said, life happens. and you have to be able to go with the flow and, learn how to deal with when things come up. And so just centering myself, and yes, movement. So like if I need like a little movement break or just like some breathing and centering, that helps me. So like each morning I have a little routine for myself, and it always starts my day with movement because that's what keeps me sane and that's what keeps me grounded, especially during this crazy time of life right now. So that is something that I created for myself. I had it pre-pandemic as well, but I was even more intentional and purposeful. Like, even though I can sleep till 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and yes, some days that's great. I use my Sundays to sleep in just a little bit, but I realize like, I don't want to waste the day away. So I wake up every morning around 7:30. I am doing my workout to help cross train with my dance career, and also just stay active, stay moving, and just get my head set for the rest of the day. Like, start the day with you is my advice. And then once you get this right and your body feeling good, you can help others ongoing. So I know that was just a lot of talking.
This is wonderful because, I mean, while you were talking, of course, there were many things that came through my mind. There is a couple things. The first thing, though, I want to say is because today we're talking about holistic healing, we're talking about the two other speakers that I had already posted, that is Cindy Olsen and Laura Preskin, who one is talking more about nature and the other one talks a bit about more community and nurture. And you are actually bringing it all together as one because you are honoring the necessity of the body to be the nature part and the nurturing part of taking care of yourself first, so you can be in strong health to give to others, and especially all these people that you are working with and helping transform. It's a big, not a heavy on your shoulders, but something that you have to have the strength for.
Uh-oh, I think you just froze on my end. I hope you're not frozen on your end.
It's so much related to dedication, and dedication not only to to stay strongly towards your one path, but also dedicated to change, dedicated to like, okay, life is coming a certain that way, that I can be still dedicated to my ultimate goal or to my new goal or to adjusted goals, but also to be able to shift and then transform with the shift, not to feel like, oh, now I didn't achieve this, I'm not good enough, but actually saying like, okay, maybe that will right way, let me shift over to another direction, or yeah, taking other people around me. I mean, you seem to already have this kind of dedication prior to the experience of your sister and the connection that she brought, or awareness to Beachbody that she brought to you. But in a way, you already had this established, and that just brought you another aspect of how the mental health is as important, and the nutrition helped you then to also help yourself and bring more awareness to your other parts that might have not been at to par or in relation to yourself, right? And so trying to figure these different places out. And so what I love about all the stories that you just mentioned, from early childhood through the struggle of wanting to be part of the company, then being part of the still being able to give so much, is just incredible, I think. And so there's so much in store for you, I can see, just because you see the opportunities as being a life journey, and not just like, okay, this has now been 6 years, maybe this is time to move on or do something else, but actually use this to say, hey, I can do even more than just like, I am limiting myself if I don't try, or if I don't move on, or if I don't just keep going. And so I feel like this, I wanted to find out a little bit more how you can keep this energy up through these days. Like, I know you said you have this daily practices that you do for yourself, moving right away in the beginning in the morning because that's what your body needs. The nutrition path, for sure, is one aspect for it. But then again, it's like, how does it play out, like 7 days a week, like really being on the go, moving wise all the time? Is there something else that you do to offset the energy, or is this just who you are because that's how you're born?
Well, my other nickname is like Energizer Bunny. No, but honestly, I mean, basically all of my jobs are physical. Whether I am dancing with the company, or I am teaching, or I am rehearsing, or I'm preparing for a class, or like reviewing something before going in. So it takes a lot of physical energy, but you learn as you get older how to be smart with your body. So, for instance, like, yes, I have my morning routine. However, for me, it seems like each week my schedule is a little bit changing, but I look at my week ahead, and then I also look at each individual day ahead and like, okay, plan out what what needs to get done, but not overwhelm myself and put too much on my schedule where like if I can't physically do even one of those things, then I'm just going to do it poorly. So realizing for myself, like last night I stayed up late getting some work done because I also taught late last night. So I stayed up later, a little bit extra, to fit some things in. And I was still up this morning. And usually my mornings, like, once I'm up, I'm like ready to go. However, I know that I have to use a lot of brain power for the next few hours, diving into some master's work and then greeting for my university students. So for me, like, I need to take a physical break for the screens. And so what that might look like for me is taking a walk outside and getting some fresh air. And having a puppy does force me to get outside a little bit more than I probably would be motivated on my own to do. Even though I love nature, I'm work, work, work. So I know that it forces me to get out, and I need that for myself. But also, if I need to take a little rest, so if I need to take that, little power nap for 20, 30 minutes and just kind of recharge, I'll do that. Other things, family and my husband, like, is most important to me, right? And also spending time with our puppy. So to make sure, and it's something that I'm still working on because like we all have so many things going on in our life, so many things that need to get attended to, but to realize to keep that sanity and to keep grounded is you also need that time to break away and just focus and be present with your family. And so like my husband and I love to golf, and so this weekend we went golfing. Whether it's just like bringing in dinner one night. We started working on a puzzle together. We like just relaxing on the couch. I'm not a huge TV watcher, but that's one of the ways that we kind of unwind. Maybe not every single night, but certain nights, we'll watch like an episode or so of something, and that kind of just alleviates like focusing on work or what needs to get done and just kind of taking a break. So I like to use like usually Friday nights and like Sundays as kind of like an unwind day. Or yeah, it's something that is hard, especially right now when everything is so technology. And for me, I just am recovering from an eye injury that happened twice during the pandemic, so not a great time. It took me out for like a week. So I realized even more so physically I need to take care of myself. So realizing that my eyes physically need that break. So that's where that resting also comes in. To be quite honest, I'll probably take a little snooze after this call to then recharge to get things done later. And I know that you mentioned about like, getting yourself right in order to give to others. And I think that is so key. Like I I like to fill up my cup first, fill up my cup so that I can pour into others. And if I'm not giving to myself first, and that's why really that morning routine is key to me, if I'm not filling myself up first, and filling my mind with positive thoughts and things that I'm grateful for, then I can't be the best version of myself to give to others. So it's important.
And I love you used this example of the cup because we had Leah Picard yesterday talking about that she doesn't like the analogy of the cup. She uses the sprinkler to like sprinkle. So maybe if you wanted to reuse this in the future, but she just explained it so wonderfully because she's like, imagine, do you see the sprinkler when the sun shines in and it sprinkles all out? It's because when you look at the cup and it's like filled over, then it's almost like I'm filled to the top and now it's just you get the leftovers. But like this, it's more of like a beautiful visual. So it's more like I'm still giving, I'm taking in first, and then whatever is coming out you can get back. So I love that you mentioned it, so you're connecting it to yesterday's conversation as well.
Oh, thank you for
And
sharing that.
yeah, definitely. And so the other thing also about what you're saying is, which I definitely want people to really take in, is to really understand what do you need, you as an individual, for you by yourself, not always in connection. Well, yes, you made an example with your husband, but you also do so much for yourself that you need to find that connection with him. But most of the time, some people might be in connection with other people most of the time, so that they need to find a time for themselves to, let's say dancing is part of that routine, right? Or just exercising, or something that's just you, for you personally, to really fill that cup or that sprinkler for that matter, to just have this energy for others. And I think what's very interesting about your part is because you have so many different aspects. Yes, movement is the number one the dominator, but it's not that alone. It's like the connection of all the other parts that are making us whole, right? Like we need to eat the right nutritions so that we can move to the fullest. We need the right people around us so that we have the right energy to also take care of ourselves so nobody feels left out. And so it's kind of like really understand where we're coming from and what we need. Like you are definitely know, I mean, I guess that's a dancer, and being in tune with your body to know what your body really needs, to really be able to say like, no, this is part of it. What's your connection to this mind body, possibly soul connection? Is there something that you can say about, because I feel like you don't talk about these aspects, but I feel like when you do talk about anything, it just, to me, there is this connection between the mind, the body, and now doing the masters, I'm sure there is a bunch of that adds to this.
Uh, yes. Whew. I think this even takes us back to the team call that you did for us and just about breath, and connecting using the breath as that connection to mind to body. And like I said, like breath and movement are so innate in each one of us. Like we're all born and, we breathe. It's the first sign of life. And then, start to move those fingers and everything and eyes. And so, um, yeah, for me, it's with the mind and keeping that positive mindset. Um, for me, if things are bringing me down or don't enlighten me, or, I don't really, I don't want to say like don't pay attention, but I don't give my energy to that, because it's not doing any good for me. Why am I going to focus on something and drain my energy about, so many people scroll on social media, right? And a lot of times, you can read a comment thread and it's just digging deeper and just people bickering. And for me, like, some people find that entertaining, including my husband is probably one of them. But for me, like, that's not the point. Like, I wanna laugh. I wanna smile. I wanna have some type of value brought to me through these images. You know, I stay focused and my mind stays sharp, especially being in this master's right now, right? I'm delving into a lot of reading and writing right now. And I will tell you that it's something that reading I don't enjoy as much, except when it's on subjects that really I care about, then of course I like the reading. Like when I read books that I personally choose, I love it. Right now I'm reading some dance stuff, and parts of it are interesting, but then there's a lot of things that might seem a little bit dry. But I know overall, and like through having discussions with my peers, it's keeping me sharp with my mind, and just kind of combining the knowledge and wealth of knowledge that I'm getting from everyone else and from all of these, you know, reviews and, textbooks and everything that we're reading. And it's adding on another layer to my artistry in order to pass it on to my students. So even though, in the moment I might be like, man, this is a boring read or something, I know that there is something in there. Even if 4 out of the 5 pages I'm like, ugh, I know that there's something in there that either sparks a new idea or something that I did not know previously. So it's just taking these ideas and kind of like soaking it in. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, no, because why I was asking this question is also because some viewers might work 100%, right? So I relate the work to studying, even though it's maybe not as dry as, like reading something as you described it, but you're still doing work that you're not enjoying. But if you're looking at the bigger picture, it's always something greater, right? And we're talking about growth mindset here as well, just because it's part of transformation. Like you can't transform if you don't have a mindset that's open-minded, trying to always grow and see more than what it is, right? And so this experience you just described is just to also let us know that there are boring parts in our lives. There are things that don't excite us, but they're part of it. And isn't just rose, it's also some uncomfortable parts. I mean, the roses have thorns, right? So there are these uncomfortable parts to it. And so it's really to see how they all come together as one, and just understand that even if there's a particular task during the day that doesn't excite us, that makes us maybe wonder, am I doing the right thing, to just step back, take a break, or talk to other people and see that they have the same experience, meaning then it can't be that much of a thing. Because if you're the only one, then maybe you should rethink it. But if other people feel the same way about it, then maybe it's just one thing. And we shouldn't get stuck on something that is negative or doesn't support our beliefs or just doesn't fit into the joyful parts of our lives, but just look at it at the big picture. And so I think you encompass the entire idea of growth mindset in a way, like, yes, maybe you're not back in school, but even if you're not, it's part of growing, it's part of something bigger. And if you look at it, what else is there, and maybe a different path down the line, then that could be also empowering.
Absolutely. I wanted to share with you one last thing. So I was just looking at my mug, and I didn't plan this at all. I'm letting you know this up front. Um, but I thought it was appropriate. Of course, a lot of my things have to do with dance. It might come up backwards on the screen, but I'll read it out loud. And it's a semi-famous quote. It says, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain."
Perfect. This is a great way to end this because that really is what this conversation was about. To you starting somewhere with an idea, with a vision of yourself, and then move through it as you go along with it. Take in the feedback that you need to grow and keep growing because we grow until we die. So, and we don't know when that is. So every day should be a day of growth. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us to give us on the way of dedication, love, and growing that you want to?
Ooh. um, I would just say find what you love and do it with people that you love, and you'll be fulfilled, right? Um, Finding what I love and my passion in life and being able to pursue it, and no matter how many times you get knocked down along the way, if that's really something that you want and something that you need in your life, keep on doing it and find others who support you along the way.
That's great because we're talking about transformation and not to necessarily believe that traditional way is the only way. So thank you, Lara, for your time. I appreciate you. And if you want to see her energy all day, every day, go on Facebook and on Instagram. It's Lara Love, and you'll be just bouncing off the walls with her and excited to join her.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you and all that you are doing this week, and that you're doing beyond this week and before this week. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lara. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.